Hey everyone, Jessica Jones here. Excited to kick off the second installment of our Business Analytics Primus podcast. I'm here with Matt Hott, our CFO, who is our subject matter expert in all things business analytics. How are you, Matt?
Hey, doing fine. Thank you, Jessica.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm excited to talk about business analytics with you today because as somebody who definitely appreciates data in her role in understanding the importance of the organization, can you kick us off by defining business analytics? We for our newer employees, but not only our newer employees, but for those that could be like me who understand the importance of data, but not really understanding the full scope of business analytics.
So I describe business analytics as the analysis of all aspects of our organization, both operationally and financially. Basically, what we're trying to do is use data to be more proactive rather than reactive in all aspects of potential risk in our organization.
So at the company meeting, you highlighted 3 key projects that are going to help drive our business analytics strategy. Can you give us a few high levels of those key projects and what you're currently working on?
Yeah, sure. So the first one is the development of dashboards to be utilized in all meetings and conversations that we have in the organization. What we're trying to develop right now is key performance indicators, also known as KPIs, that will be used to collect data points to help drive the conversation around these meetings and conversations.
So going off script a little bit, 8 months into the year, what successes have you seen with our business analytics so far?
I think the overall success is, like I just spoke about, driving conversation within the organization. So each Monday, we have a big development meeting where we discuss potential projects and current projects. We have what we call version 1.0 of our dashboard that we use, where we're monitoring RFIs, we're monitoring status of submittals, change orders, schedule, accounts receivable, and that is being used to help drive the conversation about the projects. Now, it is not the end all be all because, there's obviously aspects of projects that can't be monitored through data, like permitting process, for example. But
You mean that's not an easy process?
No, from what I've heard, no. But again, it helps to make sure that our project teams are focusing on the right, aspects of our project to help reduce risk.
Okay, very cool. So you guys have seen quite a few successes then being able to drive those conversations and create efficiencies.
Yeah, the way I see it, as far as I mentioned before about being proactive versus reactive, the fact that we don't visually see our successes means we're doing our job because we're being proactive and not having to wait for issues to arise before we attack them.
So your next key project, increase utilization, synchronization with typical workflow and meetings. Help me understand that one.
I mean, the overall aspect of this one is just trying to sync different aspects of the organization into a cohesive unit. And what I mean by that is, accounting uses a specific software for what they do. Construction uses Procore, as well as many other softwares. Design uses Jira and clash detection softwares and all that kind of stuff. And so the synchronization of all of those softwares into, being able to get data from all of them into one simple place where we can mine that data in one simple place is really what that's meant. And I feel like we've gotten that down and we have, normalized our data to a point where we can really start attacking that.
So you mentioned one simple place. Are you in a position to be able to talk about where that place is or what that place is?
I'll try. but really, we use Azure, which is a Microsoft cloud service where they have what they call the data lake, where all that information is stored. And so we are accessing that data lake to organize our data.
Okay.
That's about as far as I can go with
No,
that.
that's okay. And so are we then putting that into, are we creating dashboards? Like what does that look like?
Yeah, so currently we utilize a software called Domo to create these dashboards. One thing that we have discovered over time is that we signed up with Domo about 3-4 years ago. And as time has gone on, some of their competitors have caught up to what we can accomplish using there, and in some cases, they have surpassed them. So we're actually looking at other Domo type softwares, including Power BI, to maybe transition all of our information collection and presentation to a different system.
Okay. Very cool. Very awesome. And then your last key project here that you identified was automating manual processes. Have you been able to achieve that at all? I
Yeah.
shouldn't say you, but you leading the
The
organization and
team,
achieving
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I mean, there are some very specific instances of, manual processes, creating efficiencies within them. For example, it's always easy for accounting because that's kind of where my background is. But, simple things like our check run printing process. So we utilize a third party processor to process our payments for us, but there are certain steps that have to be taken to get the data from our accounting system into a format that can be uploaded to our third party payment processors software, and then the payments are created. What we were able to do is take a report with data that we were having to manipulate a bunch of data to be able to get pushed over to our third party. And the business analytics team was able to automate a lot of that manual data creation. And it has probably saved I'd say 3 to 4 hours a week
Okay.
just in that one process alone right there. So good return right there.
Good. So one thing I heard you mention previously, but here recently, is really pushing our teams and our department heads to reach out to the business analytics team and the IT team. I think the one thing you said, and I'm not quoting you, but it's very close, but it's like, if you can think about a process that you're doing and automate it, come talk to us. So can you expand on that message? My guess is you put that out there because you want to see more of that.
Yeah, I mean, if they're just think about everything you're doing on a daily and weekly and monthly basis. If there's, reoccurring tasks that you're having to complete that, you're basically just collecting data, putting into a presentation format, and then sending that off to whoever the stakeholders may be thinking about those types of tasks, and then reach out to me or John Roba, and we can see what we can do to help automate that for you.
Could you quantify a time savings?
I mean, again, the check run process that I mentioned, that was 4 hours right there. But if you think about it, if you're going to 1, 2, or 3 different places to collect data to put in one Excel spreadsheet or whatever format it may be, I can guarantee you we can save you at least 2 to 3 hours a week, if not more.
I would like 2 to 3 more hours a week.
Wouldn't everybody?
Okay, well, very cool. Those are some great updates on those key projects that you guys are working on, and you've made lots of strides, so that's exciting. And thank you for helping me understand more about business analytics and our new hires and those who maybe aren't as strong in this particular subject matter. So what's some of the feedback you've received on some of the projects and initiatives that you guys have been working on?
Some of the feedback that we've received kind of centers around our kind of go to market. So if you think about it and you think about the original landing page for Google back in 2000, maybe. And then you look at the landing page for Google today, they're vastly different. And that goes for many websites. Shoot, even Primus's website, honestly. And so what we've realized is that it's okay that it's not perfect on day one. Now, obviously, the information coming out has to be perfect, but the aesthetics and all that don't have to be, 100%. And that it's okay that we kind of have version 2.0, version 3.0 as we go along. And so that's kind of the mindset we're taking, in the beginning, being, employees of Primus, it's always got to be perfect on day one. Right. And so, changing that mindset to, have different version history is kind of, it's kind of given us a relief to focus on the data and getting all that right rather than worrying about what exactly we're pushing to market.
Absolutely. Continuous improvement is huge in all of our processes and initiatives.
Everything that we do.
Yeah,
correct.
absolutely. Yeah. So I guess last but not least, what's the outlook for the rest of 2024 and maybe even talking about into 2025?
I think the biggest thing for us is, as I spoke about before, is, working to develop KPIs for all of our meetings and the conversations that we have in those meetings. Make our conversations less objective and more subjective through the use of data, so that we are, like I said, being proactive about everything that we do and even the conversations that we have. And then, some other other opportunities we're working on is additional forecasting for PPC reporting. We want to be able to automate a lot of that, whether it be through the use of Dragon or even some of the other softwares that we're using for PPC reporting. And then be able to, the last one we want to focus on is scheduling. So how can we take our baseline schedule, compare that to where it is today to see what has changed and what is the importance of that change, if any, and what the outcome will be going forward from that change.
Well, very cool. Well, Matt, do you have any additional thoughts to add?
No, I just want to thank everybody for, your enthusiasm around business analytics. It's something that to some, the phrase seems daunting, but once you really get into it and understand what we're trying to accomplish and the information that it can provide to you, I've seen a lot of excitement around it and just looking forward to keeping that momentum going. So thanks, everyone.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Matt. That does it for our second installment of Business Analytics. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.